Okay. Hello, I'm Joey from the MakeCode team at JWonderall on the forum.
I'm Shannon from the MakeCode team at Shakao on the forum.
And I'm Richard at Richard on the forum, and Daryl is out today.
Yeah. Okay, so today we were thinking about how much fun these guys had yesterday and Daryl making a boss game, and I think we're going to do the same thing, except we were going to do a platformer style boss. So this one's in the style of what you would see in like a Mario game or anything like that, that you would move to the right and then, see an enemy that you had to outmaneuver.
Yeah. So what would you define as a boss battle, I guess? Is it just something that kind of changes over time and you're going up against one enemy? Like when I think of boss battles, I always think of them as having like stages.
Yeah.
I know that's not universally true, but...
So that's pretty common. You also tend to get locked into the area with the boss. So some of the times you can move around the main levels, but you'll just be in like one screen for the boss. Right?
Like usually, it's something you have to beat before proceeding in the game, right? Tying into the locked levels.
Right. Yeah. Very often it's, the gatekeeper to the larger goal or something.
And usually they'll end up having a unique mechanic or two at least to separate them from normal enemies. You just start off by making the sprites. Do we have any ideas what we want to make for like a main character in this boss battle? I guess we could start with what our enemy is, and then we could think about from there. If anybody wants to introduce what we came up with for the enemy.
Sure. So I think the idea was that we were going to do pufferfish that you were going to fight against, because we were thinking of things that you could jump on, and we thought about with the different stages you might want to have sometimes where it can't be jumped on, and pufferfishes get spiky, so you can't jump on it when it's spiky, and you can when it's not.
Ooh,
not really. You should never jump on a pufferfish under any circumstances.
No, yeah, they're a lovely fish. They are very pretty.
They're also extremely poisonous.
Yeah.
Well, not if you step on them.
I mean, not if you step on them with like steel boots or something.
With like shoes?
Yeah.
I do like the idea that Jacqueline put in the chat of using snail, because I like the snail a lot.
This is a hermit crab.
That is absolutely a hermit crab.
That is a hermit crab. We don't have an actual snail, do we?
No.
No, but I like the hermit crab a lot.
The crab is pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with the crab.
And we get to like potentially use his like smash attack later. But let's go with this one to start.
It's definitely a hermit crab, Jacqueline. It's got claws.
I've caught enough of these in Animal Crossing to know, after you guys mentioned it, that it is a hermit crab. So,
I've seen crabs in real life. So,
I'll leave it facing left to start with, but we'll probably need to do some animations. But that can be like a added feature later on, moving back and forth, because we already did that this week, and that would be ends up being a little tedious. So we got this. We can move around, and then let's just design a small tile map for it. Okay, so with hermit crab versus pufferfish, we can use aquatic, because that's our aquatic theme.
I like the pink ground a lot.
Yeah. Can I change the size first, Joey? Or?
Yeah, I will. So what is the size that we have? This is the width and the height.
Yeah.
So it's 10 wide because it's 160 divided by 16, and it's about 8 tall.
Yeah. So the reason Joey's choosing these numbers is because we want the tile map to be one screen.
We can always make it a little wider if you wanted to, but we like to lock it in.
So each tile 16 pixels by 16 pixels. So 10 is 160. 8 times 16 is a little more than 120. I can't remember.
Okay, so we got that, and maybe one more right there. And
well, there's a middle one, to
yeah,
there you go.
Okay, so I got that, and let's add some walls right here.
And then also add some little I like the purple wall things that come underneath.
Wait.
Oh, this one?
Those.
Yeah. So
Okay.
make it look a little more natural.
I'm gonna disable the wall so I can actually see what it's gonna look like. How?
Oh, I think you have to use the, yeah. You see there's one that's like one tall, and then there's one that's like all light purple.
Oh, this one, yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this
yeah,
one, okay.
exactly. So yeah, those
So
leaves.
that, these, and then this, and then something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, yeah, I'd use the one that's like curving in for the edges.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm assuming we have another one right here.
Yeah.
And ooh, which one did I already use? Maybe that.
I think these might all be the same. I'm not sure.
Yes, they are all the same. That's interesting. Okay. So we got our little jumping platform, and we can turn the walls back on.
Coral.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we also have those rocks, though. I don't know if they're actually in the tile set.
The rocks. I don't think they're. Ooh, maybe. I'm gonna add some coral first. So, coral can just be the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just a little.
Well, don't make it fly.
But I'm gonna make all the background. Oh, I guess I can't make the background purple. Okay. So. Yeah. And then miscellaneous.
Yeah.
And rock. Yeah, just on the side. Yeah, that's a rock.
Yeah, that's fine. You can just have one rock.
Yeah. And then let's see, let's press done. See what this ends up looking like.
Oh man, look at that guy.
And let's set the background color too, so that it shows up behind the rocks and we don't have any weird, just black void behind it.
It's deep ocean. This game takes place in the Marianas Trench.
Yeah. Does purple work? Nope, that blends in. Blue.
What about the green, the dark green?
This one, like a tealish green?
Yeah, that one.
I don't know if that looks good to me.
That looks good, yeah.
And I guess we can also just start. I like to start off my characters in the top so that they fall down to the ground, just because I think it's fun. So I'll just start them in the top left corner. So place my sprite on top of tile map call row. This one's a little bit wide, isn't it? Nope. This one's a little bit wide, right?
Yeah.
24 by 16.
Mm-hmm.
I think you took one of the animation frames instead of just like the normal crab frames.
Oh, yeah. Let's go back to the crabbing. This looks like normal crab.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, so this is part of the attack animation, so it's
Yeah.
wider so that it accounts for that. Okay. Yeah, that one. Okay. So stop in the top right. Okay, so we want it to be a platformer, and I have this special little thing right here. Do you want to explain what this is, Richard? Well, I start putting variables.
So some people call this the fundamental equation of platformers, but it's just it lets you choose values for your gravity and velocity so that you can jump to a specific height. So very often it's useful to say like, you can jump on top of 3 blocks, but not 2. And so with these equations, you can make it so that it jumps precisely that high, which is useful.
I'll start off with a big jump, just so we have something. Okay, so we want to apply the gravity to the player, right? To get this started off so that they actually fall down. Set my sprite AY to gravity.
Can we rename the My Sprite?
Yeah,
Yep.
let's do that right now. Do you have a good name?
Shannon?
Snail? We can name the hermit crab Snail, because then we can both be right.
Yeah, name him Snail.
So there we go. So Snail is falling down to the ground, and he's on the little bottom. We move around. We can also just move up and down, though. That's not really great. So we can fix that by going over here and making it so we only move with VX. So that's set VY to 0. So now we'll fall. Nothing happens when we press up and down. And we can add a little A button event, I guess, to make it so we jump. Okay. So in this one, we want to do this last part of the equation, which is we want to go here. We want to set my sprite. So we want to set snail VY to this guy. Do you usually just calculate this at the beginning of as a separate variable, Richard?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, but it's easier to read if you put all the math in the onStart.
Okay. So I'll set this right here. And we need to go to math, square root of 2 times gravity times jump height. Math times. So we have 2 times gravity times jump height. And jump velocity.
I think you want to do negative jump velocity.
Yes.
So you could just set, yeah. No, that won't work.
That won't work because it's square root.
Velocity.
Because that's undefined behavior. Yes, I will just do it in here so that I don't have to do it anywhere where we end up adding a jump if we have like the enemy character jump or something like that too. Jump. And I chose 48 because I wanted to be able to jump up on top of this one right here. So if we look, we can just barely make it.
Maybe try bumping that gravity up a little bit.
So it falls a little bit faster?
Yeah.
300. Let's do smaller increments.
How's that feel?
Yeah, I mean, we're in water, so I guess a little bit low gravity feel doesn't feel too bad to me.
Mm-hmm.
We can adjust it in a minute. Totally a snail, guys. Yeah. Okay, so we got that, and he can fly. Or she, I can't tell on the hermit crab. Any ideas how to fix this one?
You know how to fix it. It's in the scene story.
Yeah. So we go in here and we can say we only want to be able to jump if we are on the ground, because otherwise we'll just, keep on flying. So if we go down here, and I always take a second to find it out. Is hitting wall on left, change this one to bottom, and logic if, that in there. So this block returns a Boolean saying if the snail is hitting a wall on the bottom, we can jump. Otherwise, it's just ignored. And we're good to go. That's the start. So now's the horrifying part where I have to draw the blowfish. So little guy.
It's a circle with a triangle. It's a circle with a triangle for a tail.
Yes.
I think you should make it big though. Not necessarily the whole screen, but like bigger than the player character.
Yeah, so like 32 by 32 maybe. Twice as big. Yeah.
Is that gonna make it so it can't fit under the platform?
I put them 2 up. So they're too tall, and so it will just fit when it's moving left. Let me sanity check that I did that right. Yeah, so I didn't set these ones as walls because they're like the background. Okay. Perfect. So big blowfish, and we can start out with the big one. What color is the blowfish?
Yellow.
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 When our draw circle is from the center, right? Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like a requirement of a boss to be bigger than the player, but I like it because then it makes you feel like you're up against something,
Yeah. In some games, like Dark Souls, it's actually a lot scarier when the boss is your size because you're like going from a dragon to this random character, and all of a sudden it's like, what did this person do to get so scary? Let's see. Spike. That's pufferfish adjacent.
What's your favorite video game boss, Richard?
This is a answer that many people will give, but it is the final boss in Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker because it is extremely memorable. It's a very good, like, it's fun to do, and I don't know, it's just great.
Okay.
Is it Ganondorf?
Yes.
Okay.
And he has many forms in that one. So how do I draw the spikes on the inside? I guess just orange little lines.
You don't have to.
There we go.
Okay.
Kind of looks like a softball.
The sun. I think that if you
Let's give it some eyes to start with.
okay. Oh, so it's looking straight at the camera.
Oh, this guy's so good.
1 second, it's hard for me to draw because oh no. Like, let's go. These little eyes.
Yes.
Okay. So it's either a pufferfish or just a softball with eyes, but either way, I'm happy with
It
it.
should be frowning, I think.
Okay, that's fair. Blah. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so that looks good. Let's place them in the bottom right. So duplicate that. My sprite. So we want, oh, I left him as my sprite. Do we have a name for this one? Puffy?
I mean, you can just call it boss.
Okay, boss. Ooh. And I guess we don't want it centered on a towel because we want it on the ground.
You could just set the position.
I'll just set the position, yeah. Before I do that, I'll add velocity to them too so that they fall down. So boss, AY, and under variables, we got gravity. Okay, and this set boss Y, no, set boss right to go to scene, screen width. So now the right side of the boss will be right on the screen width, and they'll fall right there. Okay.
I'm gonna change the kind of the boss too, probably.
Yeah. So let's add a new one, boss. I like it all capital. Okay, so we got our boss. I guess we could start making them follow the player, I guess.
Well, I think that maybe instead of doing gravity, we could just have it go in some predefined paths, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that might be fun is if we just made it go in circles around the platform.
Okay.
So more like rectangles, but the idea is it would go start from where it is, go all the way to the left, go up, then go above the platform, then go down, and then go around again. That'll be a fun little thing that the player will have to avoid.
Yeah.
Okay,
You could just change the velocity every time it hits a wall, I think. And it would circle the stage.
Yeah, but I think the gravity is just going to end up making everything very
kind of wonky.
Yeah, very hard to reason about because it's easier to do it when you're controlling it with buttons, but making something go to a specific place would involve a lot of parabolic math.
Yeah. Okay, so we got the boss, and then I'll set the bottom of them to be right here so that they start off in the bottom then. And that'll be, that's a little tedious, I guess, but.
112?
Yeah. So they're in the corner. Okay, so we want them to start off moving left and then circle around this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so give them an initial velocity. Let's store a thing for the boss speed so that I don't end up having to change that all the time. 60 or so. Okay. And just give them initial Yeah. That's you, and they don't do anything yet. Real quick, let's make it so mute. On overlap with boss. Game
I think
over.
we should wait until we have the behavior programmed, because otherwise I think we're going to get a lot of game opens when you have to move the.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good. So
what Joe was doing was adding the taking damage when you overlap with the boss. But because if you do nothing in the game, they start overlapping very quickly. It might be a little easier to
think about later on.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see if this just works. How are we going to make the path? So we could just do it a big if-else block for moving in each direction. Is there anything smart we can do here?
So you definitely always want to swap the X and the Y. I don't know about the signs is the thing.
Yeah.
If you set bounce on wall and then just swap the X and the Y, it might do it.
I think it might be more fun though if the pufferfish doesn't go all the way to the top where it can't actually hit you.
Okay.
But just goes up.
Oh, I see.
Because then you have to jump over it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So what can we do about that? So we want to move right. We don't want to hit wall because we want to just manually check it each time.
Yes. Well, do you remember Joe Gumshoe?
Yes. That was a little while ago.
Joe Gumshoe.
So Joe Gumshoe was a game where we had a path that the player would follow, and we did it by putting arrow tiles into the tile map. And so what we could do is we could start out with just like a defined pattern, and then you damage it once, we could change the tiles so that now it follows a different pattern.
Okay.
And we could keep going like that. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
That sounds good. So we just need to start off by drawing our little tiles that are going to be, we're going to put, for example, one right here, here, and here, and then just move around in a circle like that to start.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. What do you think, Shannon?
Yeah, I think it might get a little weird with the size of the sprite versus the size of the tile, but we should try it.
Yes. Okay. Well, some directional tiles always helps anyway. So got an arrow. And I'm making this the background color so that it just kind of blends in. So hopefully that makes it a little bit nicer. We don't have to do any fancy stuff. And one more. Wait. Oh, misclicked. That's the worst arrow I've drawn, but it'll do.
They're invisible.
Yeah. So for this one, we need to set the speed, and then we have to wait until the sprite is fully past the place we're at. Yes. So when it's right here, it'll be when it's on the right side. I'm forgetting how we handled this in the Joe Gumshoe. Do you remember off the top of your head? Because the issue is that we're going to get the event right here instead of right here. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, so what you can do is just ignore the event until it is far enough along, and then change it.
Okay. So ignore the event until the right side is past here.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. So scene on sprite of kind boss overlaps up arrow at location. We wait until the boss 8 to the left of. We'll have to do that in a second, but
I think you're going to need the tile map extension.
Yes, I guess that would make sense. So let's drag that one in. Is that one?
It's called tile maps.
Okay.
But
Town maps. Okay. So I haven't used this extension too much myself, Richard. Do you have any in mind that particularly helped with this?
Yeah. If you go down to the bottom,
yes,
there is a column, location column. See that?
this one.
Yep. And then look at the drop down.
Oh, okay. So we want to check when the boss right is left of the column right. Okay.
So this is a nice little block that gives you the values of the location like you would a sprite. So it has X, Y, top, left, right, bottom, all those.
Okay. So we want if location. I think we need to replace this with the actual this location. I'm guessing. Is that true? Because it's the local variable location.
Maybe.
Wow.
So I think the check will work for this case, but if we later, I mean, yeah, we should do this. But if you're approaching from the other direction, it might get weird. But yeah, let's do this first.
Okay. And then we need the boss right. So boss right. Okay. And we want to change the velocity when the boss right is less than or equal to the location right.
Yeah, I think you've flipped the condition right now.
Yes. Let's see if I can do this without it popping out. There we go. And less than or equal to.
Sure.
And then we want to set sprite vy. Well, we want to set vx to 0. I'll just use the other block because that's easier to do at once. So set sprite. We're going to change it from moving to the left to moving up, or moving from whatever direction it came in. So 0 vx and let's see, math boss speed.
I think you might also want to do like a quick alignment. So like setting the boss right equal to the location right, just in case, prevent like drift.
Yeah, this one didn't quite work. Why is that?
Oh. Sorry, kind.
So we have this, the boss's right side is less than or equal to location right. Is it possible that boss is just like 1 too wide right now?
No. Yeah, I guess it's possible, but you could okay, yeah, go ahead and change the sprite, but you could also just fix this with math.
Yeah, fixing it with math is the smarter thing. So boss right, and we just want to do an offset of 1 or something. No.
So if you subtract them and then take the absolute, and then you can check if it's below a certain thing, that'll give you if it's within X pixels.
Yes. So the issue is that we don't want to set the velocity before it's passed because we don't have the logic in place to go around the wall smoothly if you're like 1 pixel off. So it does have to be exactly less than, right?
This is also going to keep triggering as you go up. I guess that doesn't matter.
Okay. So I think you should subtract them. See if the absolute value is less than 1.
Okay.
Less than or equal to 1. And then you should also check the velocity to make sure that it's going in the direction that you think it is. So you should only run this if the Vx if Vy is not positive.
Right.
Okay, so if the sprite location is 1, and I need to grab that absolute block too. Math absolute of it's not popping out. Okay, so we have this, and then you also said we have to check if it's moving to the left. But then we can't rearrange it in the future because we want to just have it as like a pole.
So all you need all you need to check is if the VY is not positive.
Not equal to. Okay. So yeah, just don't re-trigger each time you are on the same block.
Not negative. If VY is already negative, then it's already happened. So.
Yes. So we got and VY. And we need also to get our comparison. Oh boy. I'm going to make a couple of variables for this because it's getting monstrous. Past poll. And not moving in same direction.
Man, you guys love long variable names.
Okay, so yeah.
Who is you guys?
What? I feel like every time I'm not driving, someone makes a variable name that's like 10 sentences long. No, that's good. It's good for your program to be explanatory.
Yes.
It's my problem, not you guys.
Okay, so we have not moving in the same direction. Okay, and we wanted to check, we wanted this to fail if they're already moving upwards. So sprite VY is less than 0. Oh, so it already does that, right?
Well, so I would change that 1 to 2 and see if it works. If not, I know what's happening and we'll have to figure something else out.
Oh.
Hit undo. Okay.
Yes. I'm having the hardest time today. So 1 to 2, because it would just be passing the frame.
Yeah. Okay, so it's the overlap logic. It only overlaps the thing that's at the center. Is that right, Shannon?
Is that right? Yeah.
Does?
No, I thought we changed it to check the bounding box of the sprite.
I believe it
Anyway,
checks the bounding.
In any case, there's a simple fix. You should just make all 4 of those tiles up.
All 4 of those tiles up?
In the bottom corner.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Yeah, we're going to lose the coral.
Up, 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 up. See, that fixed it.
Interesting.
It probably is something with the overlaps. I don't know.
I'm going to try this real quick. What is going on then? Set sprite velocity to VX and
Can you see if it's triggering this at all?
yeah. So let's go into the debugger.
Oh, okay.
We want to see if it's triggering this at all, I guess.
Well, no, that was a good thing to look at.
Yeah, I meant.
Okay, so just play it until we're closer to where it should be triggering, I guess.
Well, let's just look at the variable values and see what's happening here.
Okay. So we have our variables in here now. So we have jump velocity, that's useless. So past poll.
So what is boss's right? Okay, so expand the boss sprite.
Boss, there we go. So boss right, we don't show it, but it's going to be 96 plus 16.
47 plus 16. Okay. And then what is the location? Can you go to the location? Yeah,
location.
And it doesn't even have its X or Y. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you have it say the location right?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, that's
outside of this.
Yeah, that's never getting hit.
Yeah. So let's see, locate boss and say the location. So text join. Figure this one out and make it just a space. And we need the location X and Y, and we can only get that from here, right? So we actually want the right. No.
Just like that same location, right?
Yeah, you can just duplicate that block you already have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we care about, I guess. Okay. Let's use the debugger to slow it down a little. Oh. So 32.
Okay, I see what's happening. Yeah, all right. So making them all the same doesn't work. What we want to do is we want to check the boss X, the center, versus the left of the tile, I think.
And that should work because it's the boss is about 2 tiles wide and will be right next to the tile then?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So location X.
No, left.
Oh, yes, location left. And then boss X. Okay. And so that would be 16. Let's use this.
Less than 2.
Could you run that again and change the boss speed to be slower?
Yeah. So boss speed, let's do like 20.
Okay, so it takes the minimal tile and does the overlap.
So change this back to just the one.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Okay.
Right,
in theory, we want it to be this one. Yes.
Yeah.
This really shouldn't be this hard. Okay. Let's think, I guess.
sprite velocity to.
And I'll just sanity check that this one's never triggering here again. Absolute of sprite X minus location left. So location left in this case will be 16 or 17, 16, 17, doesn't matter. Because that's going to be the left side of this tile. Sprite X is going to be right along this axis, so it's going to be about 16. Let's just get it to say both of those. So sprite X and location left. So this is what's being compared. I'm gonna put the speed back up, I think, after this run.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. Why is sprite X 32? Wait, what?
Yeah. What?
Wait, this doesn't make any sense. What's going on? Sprite X.
Can you do show physics?
Yeah, that's easier than just doing that. Thanks. Forgot we had that flag. Where are sprite flags again? Show physics and true and all. Okay, so it said we were in 16 here. That's hard to read in its background. 15. So it says it's 15 here, but then this sprite X right here is being read out is 32. Why?
Okay, this seems like a MakeCode bug.
This seems like nonsense, yeah.
Maybe we should just have the guy bounce back and forth along the bottom, and like we could do the expand collapse.
Well, just one thing real quick, and instead of using the local sprite, use the boss.
Yeah, okay. So boss sprites.
All right, never mind. Give up.
Okay. Yep. Bailing on that. I will keep this to the side right here so that I can look at that a million times later. So we can use the nice little bounce on wall block that Shannon was talking about. So it's another sprite flag. I'm sure we've used it before. So now it should, when it gets over here, bounce back and forth. Makes it a little bit easier, but we can deal with that. Okay. And let's turn off show physics. Okay, so we have this guy moving back and forth, and we wanted it so every once in a while it will turn into a not puffed version, sit still, and we can jump on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. Okay, so let's draw that little not puffed version. Okay, so I think one way to do this is to make it so it happens just randomly, and we don't want to use the game update for that. We've talked about that before. We want it to happen on like a random-ish interval, let's say. So we can just use a forever loop with a pause in it. And then in here we can change it as time goes on, or just make it random so that every once in a while it will trigger and then go back to normal after that. So say, pick random, let's say between every 2 and 3 seconds to start. And then we want to, after this pause, change the image. Where's the image? Set my sprite image of the boss to
I think you probably want it to be the same size. Yeah, just like smaller.
I made it small, that size-ish. And it's going to look a little bit like a really sad tadpole because that's about my drawing level. Okay. So then, okay. Okay, we'll need to think about this for a second. I guess we can just store the velocity, so that'll be fine.
No, store the velocity. Just choose a random one.
Oh, so just, yeah, we can always just go left or right. That's fine. Okay, so we can go in here and set the velocities to 0. So they stand still for this duration. And then after 2 seconds, I guess. After 2 seconds, we want to revert it back to the same image that it was before. So then set. Okay. So right here, you'll get small and it'll turn back. We could animate that later on. And then we want to give it a random velocity, a velocity that is either positive or negative, so it starts moving again. So let's just use a 50% chance. So if we can get in here, 50% chance, they will move to the speed, and then another 50% chance, the other 50% of the chance, we will just go the opposite direction. Oh. Okay. Perfect. So now we need to know when we can jump on him. And we can jump on him when his image is this. Do we have an image equals block?
No, I think
no, it's in the kind. Yeah, we should change the kind. So we can go in here and set boss kind to weak boss. And then after we have changed the image back, we can change him back to a regular boss. Okay. And we can make it so when we jump on him right now, it will, or when we hit him, it will destroy him for now. And then later on, we can use the sprite data if we have time to make it so he has multiple lives. So sprites on overlap, sprite of kind player overlaps other sprite of kind weak boss. Then we want to check that the player is falling, right? Probably. And if the player is moving downwards, we'll destroy it.
Yeah, that'll probably work.
Mm-hmm.
It's close enough. This ends up being a little bit of a, so we've done it in several different ways through our different examples. I think Daryl probably had a good one in his cat jumper videos to check if you're falling onto a sprite.
Mm-hmm.
So if sprite of kind player overlaps other sprite of kind, if the player's velocity is less than 0 in the y direction, and we want to destroy the other sprite. Okay, destroy the other sprites, and yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we got all that. Any ideas where we want to go from there? We can add the lives in, I guess. Yeah. So we have the sprite data extension.
Yeah, it's the duck.
Yes, the duck. Oh. Yes. Oh. Why did that grab that? Okay. So we can give them the data in the form of lives real quick. So set item data boss lives to 3. I think that's what happens in every boss fight in every video game ever, is that you have to hit them 3 times, including in the Battle of Ocarina of Time. And we want to change it here so that if you're hitting them, you want to first take away a life, and then if there are no lives left, if this is the last life, we want to destroy it. So another logic block. So if data read lives as number, so from boss, well, from others, right, I guess. And we want to compare this with 0, I guess. I guess this will be a minor issue in that it would only trigger on the final one. So we can just subtract the lives first. Subtract 1 from the lives first.
Yep.
Yep. Change other sprites lives by number -1.
You should put that inside the ifs.
Yeah. Okay. So if it is 0, then destroy it. And we also want to make it so they are not kind of break right away. Like if we do it right now, it won't actually change anything because as soon as you hit it, it will run 3 frames in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So an easy way to do that is just, I guess we can change the kind back, but that will break other things. We could just turn it into a ghost for a second and then turn it back on before you start it moving again.
Yeah. I don't know if this will work, but it'd be cool if it bounced a little bit.
Oh, like if it jumps up or something?
Yeah, like if you just immediately like propel it back up.
Oh.
But
Okay, yeah, actually that would, because so if we do this and then we make the sprite, set my sprite velocity, set sprite vy, and we can make it do like a half jump, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So we have our jump velocity, and make that divided by 2 jump velocity, and
I think you divided by 1.
I did divide it by 1. Okay. So let's see. Oh, bounce. Okay. So you get the chance to hit him twice, but I think that's reasonable to start with, and we are running a little bit low on time. Was there anything else we were thinking about adding in for this one for now?
Well, we should probably do the damage to the player real quick.
Yeah. So let's give the player some lives to start with. We can just use the built-in lives for that, so they show up in the top left corner. So set life to 3. And we want to do the same old on overlap of kind player, on sprite of kind player overlaps other sprite of kind boss. Did I mute this? Yes. We want to change life by -1. And we want to do the same sort of thing for this, I guess. For now, I'll just use the pause trick, I think, to give it some invincibility. And then we can think about this, what exactly we want to do in just a moment. So then they'll hit us, and it does that.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
So this will make it so it loses. We mentioned this one before, but I guess it's worth pointing out again. We can only have 1 overlap occurring between any 2 sprites at a time, and they run separate from the game loop. So this pause is saying, like, just delay the end of this event for a second, and that will stop it from triggering again for a second.
Yep.
Okay. So now we got a game. Yeah. Oh, we did destroy it. Okay. I think that's all that's coming to mind right now. I'm still kind of stuck in my head on this thing not working, and I'm very unsure why, so I'm not.
I've got some ideas, but
okay.
We should get off stream.
Yeah. So I think that's probably it for now. Do you remember what stream this is? 30 million? 30 seconds? Yes.
Yeah.
Second stream. There's no. Yeah. And
here isn't it 2 words?
I should know this.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still flustered by that thing. And let's snail versus hermit crab. Start. Any other idea?
That's snail versus snail. I think we should use snail versus tennis ball.
Versus tennis ball. I mean, I still think it's more of a softball than a tennis ball, but maybe it's just because I've seen more softballs. Fair enough. Okay, I think that's probably good for today then. I'm Joey at JWonderl on the MakeCode forums.
I'm Shannon at Shakao on the MakeCode forums.
And I'm Richard at Richard on the MakeCode forums.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. Bye.